Fat fights its rival muscle in so many sneaky ways. You see, it knows that muscle is a powerful weapon against it because muscle is a furnace that can help burn off fat. To prevent this from happening, fat fights back. And I suspect you know who's winning the battle in your body. Now, you may have listened to lots of people who try to hack the body to find little tricks to burn more fat. Things like ice baths and caffeine and lots of cayenne pepper. And while some of these things can be helpful, in most people, it's like buying an expensive luxury sports car when you don't know how to drive. Sure, you could have someone drive you around in it, but the point of getting such a car is to enjoy the experience of actually driving it. Trying all those hacks on your body when you don't know the most important fundamentals of how fat actually works in your body is a waste of your time and energy. I'm a board-certified obesity doctor, and you can think of me as your ground intelligence on fat. Now, the first thing you need to know is that fat is your storage pod for the fat and carbs that you eat. When you eat excess carbs and sugar, they get converted to fat through the action of a hormone called insulin. This is so you don't have all that sugar floating around in your bloodstream where it can damage your organs and blood vessels. And this is why people go on a low-carb diet or a ketogenic diet in order to lose weight. What is missing, which is why many people will lose weight at first and then plateau and not get to their goal weight, is because, well, simply put, if you eat excess fat, it gets stored too. Where? In your fat. Now, I generally recommend a low-carb diet for my patients, and I think that's a very healthy way to eat. But I also know that if they want to get to their goal weight, they should make sure they aren't getting excess fat in the diet as well, because excess fat and excess carb or sugar end up in the same place, in your fat. 2, moving beats exercise for fat burning. And when people think about losing fat, they think of getting on their elliptical trainer, going to the gym, getting a personal trainer. All of this is good for your health. But one neat thing that people miss is something called NEAT. NEAT stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis. And no, it's not like the atomic bomb, even though it sounds like it. Let's break it down. Non-exercise should make all of you who hate exercise very happy, because this does not have to do with exercise, which is a scheduled, planned activity for a set period of time. Activity means you gotta move. Thermogenesis means you're burning the fat. So put it all together, and NEAT means movement and activity outside of exercise that burns fat. What kind of movement? Any kind, and that's the beauty of it. Fidgeting is a perfect example. We all know someone who can't sit still and is always fidgeting and adjusting things. Well, that kind of movement burns fat. And before you all start jiggling your legs and bouncing in your seat and bobbing your head like a maniac, you can add NEAT to your day by simply getting up more, doing your own chores rather than outsourcing them, parking your car a block or two away from your workplace instead of right at the entrance. You could do your own gardening or landscaping, clear out your garage, bring your groceries from your car to your house in 2 loads instead of 1. Now, before you poo-poo that, you should know that you can burn far more fat per day by doing NEAT than by going to the gym. People who do manual labor can burn as much as 2,000 calories a day with NEAT, and it's not uncommon for someone who runs around a lot to burn as much as 600 to 800 calories a day with their NEAT. As long as you aren't storing any excess fat or carbs in your body at the same time, that should help you melt the fat. Now that you know that fidgeting and moving helps you burn fat, you might be tempted to stay up late. That way, you'd be moving and doing more and helping you burn more fat, right? Wrong. In fact, that would be disastrous because you need to sleep to burn fat. Not sleeping enough will decrease your ability to burn fat. This study from the Annals of Internal Medicine showed that people who slept 5.5 hours burned less fat than those who slept 8.5 hours. But it wasn't just the number of hours that was important. This study looked at healthy men who were woken up every hour with an alarm during the 8-hour sleep period. Since the men were in a metabolic chamber, which measures their metabolism, scientists could determine that they burned less fat on the nights of interrupted sleep compared with the nights when they weren't. So, aim to sleep for 8 hours a day to boost fat burning in your body. But that's just the beginning. If you want to know exactly how to sleep to burn fat, watch this video here.